Get ready to pull, push, swim, climb, run and more. A while ago I made a video looking at how weight and muscle worked in The Sims 4, and as part of that video I looked at how 8 different exercises impacted on a Sim's weight and muscle tone. But you made it pretty clear to me in the comments that you wanted to know more. What about swimming? What about jogging? How about bike riding, ice skating, horse riding, cheerleading? And who is going to tell me how much weight my Sims can lose from woohoo? Okay, I'm joking about that last one. We'll be testing a lot of exercises, far more than I'd initially thought, and we'll also be retesting workout methods that we've already looked at and seeing if different types of workouts using the same piece of equipment makes a difference. Spoiler alert, it does. For this I brought back my 5 Sim of clones, including Evil Jessica. Yes, she's hiding amongst them too. And then I moved them into a new testing facility. I would call it an upgrade, but I'm actually giving our test subjects even less than they had last time, with just a holding room each as well as a second room for them to exercise in. I then had all of the women make and repeatedly eat weight of the world ice cream to max out their weight. Afterwards I hopped into Create a Sim with full edit mode enabled and clicked their weight bar at the top, which actually saw them lose a little weight. And that's because Sims can naturally become slightly bigger than the max weight you can set them to have in Create a Sim. I mainly wanted to do this to make the weight bar in Create a Sim act as a better visual reference across tests. And note that for all of the tests, I decided that the after results would be following 4 hours of sustained exercise. So the clones were ready, and to celebrate I locked them into their holding rooms. But before they could begin working out, I first needed a control. So I had Abby stand in a room for 4 hours straight and I didn't dare let her eat anything or do any form of exercise. The result? Well, it's what you'd expect. She's exactly the same. Love that for her. So now that we've confirmed nothing happens when you don't exercise, it was time for the real tests to begin. Well, almost. To ensure that my tests were accurate, I firstly needed to know if a Sim's fitness skill level itself would impact on muscle gain or weight loss. I ran a series of tests whereby Sims would all perform the same workout but with different fitness skill levels. And what I found is that while the effects on weight and muscle tone were the same, oftentimes Sims with lower fitness skill levels would need exercise breaks more often, and these breaks would often be forced on them by uncomfortable moodlets. Hence know that going forward I try to keep Sims around the same fitness level for each test, and if a test subject had to stop before reaching 4 hours of physical activity, I would then isolate them, note how much longer they still had to go, and then have them catch up later to equalize everything. Okay, now to look at every type of exercise in the game. The first test was with the exercise machine, but it's not only testing working out, as we'll also be looking at testing heavy lifting, which becomes available at level 4 fitness, and epic workout, which becomes available at level 8 fitness. For this test, the 3 Sims involved all had level 8 fitness. Abby, who was simply working out, gained a decent amount of muscle but didn't lose any weight. Then Michaela, who was doing the heavy lifting, gained even more muscle and potentially appeared to lose the smallest amount of weight, but not so much that it was noticeable. And then finally we had Lindsay, who was doing an epic workout, and she gained the most muscle and also lost a noticeable amount of weight from her epic workout, making this workout option much more effective than the other 2. The second test was with the treadmill, but it's not only testing working out, as we'll also be testing endurance run, which becomes available at level 3 fitness, no sweat run, which becomes available at level 5 fitness, and hill challenge, which becomes available at level 7 fitness. For this test, the 4 Sims involved all had level 7 fitness. Something that became apparent during testing was that the no sweat run additionally didn't lead to the hygiene need decaying very quickly that the other types of treadmill workouts caused. The results left me a little stumped, so I actually retested this 3 times, and across the 3 tests the results were consistent. A normal workout, and endurance run, as well as the hill challenge all gave the same weight loss results, resulting in a decent amount of weight loss and no muscle gain. Then the no sweat run, which doesn't negatively affect the hygiene need, was slightly less effective, and it resulted in slightly less weight loss than the other 3 methods of using the treadmill, and again, no muscle was gained with the no sweat run too. The next test involved a range of different exercises which generally just had one way to be trained each. This included Hopcsotch, which comes with the 4-rand pack, training with a lightsaber from Journey to Batu, bowling using the bowling stuff pack, juggling a soccer ball from Discover University, and finally cheerleading from high school years. And note that rugby throwing will be coming later. Also keep in mind that for this test I set all of the test subject sims fitness skill level to level 5. Let's start with Hopcsotch, and this did nothing for muscle gain and nothing for weight loss. Then we have training with the lightsaber, which saw massive amounts of weight loss in the very short 4-hour test period, so much that it was significantly faster than using the treadmill, but then in terms of muscle gain it did absolutely nothing. Next we'll look at bowling, which somewhat unsurprisingly had no effect on muscle or weight. Then we have juggling a soccer ball, and this led to both a huge amount of weight loss on par with lightsaber training, but also resulted in a rather hefty amount of muscle gained as well. From testing this previously, I knew that it would be a standout and potentially the best exercise for both muscle gain and weight loss in the game, and I was interested to see if anything could top it. But while I wasn't surprised by the stellar results of juggling a soccer ball, I was surprised by the cheerleading results, because cheerleading did absolutely nothing for muscle gain and nothing for weight loss. And I don't know if you saw the same animations I saw, but I kind of expected cheerleading to impact on sims more. Next up, we tested the punching bag. Now from fitness levels 1 to 3, you'll only be able to practice punching. Then at level 4, practice punching changes to box, and at level 9, you'll gain the ability to do commando training. This means that I have to caveat that all 3 sims in this experiment can't have the same fitness level. Abby in the red will be practicing punching and start at level 1 fitness, while Michaela, who will be boxing, and Lindsay, who will be commando training, will both have level 9 fitness. Firstly, practicing punching saw a very small increase in muscle, as well as a small amount of weight loss as well, but overall these results were minimal. Then boxing saw slightly more muscle gained and slightly more weight lost, but while it was better than practicing punching, the results weren't massive. Finally, commando training saw a significant improvement, with both substantial muscle gain and weight loss, and it really outshined the other types of boxing. Next up, we're going to look at the fitness training methods of doing push-ups, sit-ups, and stretches, and these become available when your sim either has the active trait or is in an energized mood, which is why we now have crystals in the room which can have an energizing emotional aura enabled. Additionally, we're going to look at working out using the television, including both the Plum Boomba dance video and the power sculpting video, and all sims were level 1 fitness for this test. So, the results. Well, sadly, despite slowly raising a sim's fitness skill, stretching, completing push-ups, and doing sit-ups, even when done repeatedly for 4 hours, will have no impact on a sim in terms of muscle gain or weight loss. However, on the flip side, the television-based workouts fared better. Both the Plum Boomba and the Power Sculpting TV workouts saw sims shed a decent amount of weight. However, when it came to muscle, they had no impact at all. The next test was another random mix of exercises, including swimming laps in a pool, dancing, because this is the certified best way to get fit in real life, obviously opinion, but I do love a dance. We'll also look at how yoga and additionally meditation from the Spa Day game pack impact on sims, and then the final part of this test is looking at sparring using the training bots from the Strangerville game pack. And for this test, every sim started at level 1 fitness. Swimming saw absolutely no increase in my sim's muscle mass, however there was a small amount of weight loss. The weight loss was a lot less than I would have expected from something like swimming, but it was something. Surprisingly, dancing saw no change at all to both my sim's muscles or their weight, and I did test this both using a dance floor and without a dance floor, which gave the same results. Then there was yoga, and this saw both a moderate decrease in my sim's weight as well as a decent increase in their muscle tone too. I also confirmed that both practicing yoga and doing any of the specific yoga routines continuously all had the same results. As for meditation, as you likely expected, it did nothing. But still, with yoga doing so much, I felt that I needed to confirm this. Finally, we had sparring using the training bots from the Strangerville game pack. and these saw a moderate increase in a Sim's muscle tone, as well as a decent amount of weight loss in results that were pretty similar to yoga. The next test was a quick one, looking at rugby throwing from high school years and table tennis from Discover University. Both of these require 2 Sims to perform. Abby went with Michaela to throw a football, then Lindsay and Phoenix paired up to play table tennis, and evil Jessica was left out. She did nothing. And also know that both of these tests were done with level 1 fitness. After cheerleading did nothing, I expected football tossing to do nothing too, but to my surprise, it led to both heaps of weight loss and heaps of muscle gain as well. And I would say it was on par with soccer ball juggling, only it was a lot more annoying in that you needed 2 Sims and to repeatedly queue up the interaction. Then when it came to table tennis, it did absolutely nothing for muscle gain and nothing for weight loss. Now it's time to shine the spotlight on basketball, which is a little more interesting than you would first think. Firstly, we'll look at how shooting around, practicing dribbling, and dribbling impacts on weight. Note that practicing dribbling changes to be dribble at level 4 fitness. And so the Sim who was practicing dribbling in this test had level 1 fitness, while the Sims who were shooting around and dribbling had level 4 fitness. When it came to the results, both practicing dribbling and actually dribbling saw quite a lot of muscle gain, but no weight loss at all. Meanwhile, shooting around saw some muscle gain, but less muscle gain than dribbling, and similarly it also didn't lead to any weight loss. Now we're not done with basketball yet. Using the hoop, you can also take various shots, but in testing repeatedly doing these, I found that they generally only slightly increased the Sim's muscle tone and didn't impact on weight loss. There are also some one-off dunks that you can do on the basketball ring. And while these one-off shot interactions aren't great for gaining muscle or losing weight, the Dream Big Shot is potentially the most broken thing in the game for increasing the fitness skill, with it granting a massive amount of fitness experience per shot. When spamming this interaction, it took me just an hour and a half of in-game time to go from level 1 to level 4 fitness without any other boosting bonuses, so it's definitely something that you'll want to be making use of. And now it's time to ditch the testing rooms for the following exercises. Firstly, we'll look at jogging, which alongside swimming was one of the most requested exercise results that you wanted to know about. The result was that jogging led to no muscle gain, however it did see Sims lose a decent amount of weight. Overall, I would say that jogging seemed to have very similar results to using a treadmill. Next, we have bike riding, and this one was very surprising to me, as it didn't seem to build up any muscle, and the truly surprising part was that it also didn't lead to any weight loss whatsoever. So kind of another exercise like cheerleading where I really expected something and got nothing. I was actually so surprised by the results that I actually retested this with a different bike. And yeah, I got the same results. Now for a very unique workout method, being a zero gravity workout using a rocket ship. And for Sims to be able to do this, they will need level 8 of the fitness skill. A trip to space to do this workout takes about 2 in-game hours, so 2 0G workouts brought this in line with the 4 hours of time that the other workouts were tested with. And the results were very impressive, with both substantial muscle gained and substantial weight lost. I felt like this was potentially on par with or even better than juggling the soccer ball, though I guess it also requires level 8 fitness and a built rocket ship, so it isn't the most accessible of workouts. Next up, it's time to look at roller skating and ice skating, which are both made available with the Seasons expansion pack. These both led to the same results, being that while there was no increase or change in a Sim's muscle mass, both of these exercises saw Sims lose a little bit of weight. It wasn't a huge amount of weight lost, but it was something. Now it's time to head to Mount Komorebi, whereby we'll look at skiing and snowboarding. Firstly, with skiing, I gave all Sims level 7 fitness and level 7 skiing, and then had Abby take on the easy slope, Michaela the intermediate slope, Lindsay the expert slope, and finally Phoenix the ludicrous slope continually for 4 hours. I also had them all ski with high intensity. In every situation, my Sims didn't gain any muscle and only lost a small amount of weight. I then ran another quick test having 3 Sims ski, but this time with different workout intensities. And it very quickly concluded that training intensity has no impact on skiing, letting your Sim lose weight faster or slower, or even on muscle mass for that matter. In short, all types of skiing just has a flat effect on your Sim, whereby they'll slowly lose a little bit of weight. So how about snowboarding? Well, I ran the same experiments as I did with skiing, and I simply swapped out my sims having level 7 skiing with level 7 snowboarding. In short, snowboarding ended up with pretty much the exact same results as skiing, with all forms of snowboarding having the exact same effect as each other. In short, snowboarding does nothing for muscle gain, and it only has a small impact on weight loss. Now to look at rock climbing, and I started with outdoor rock climbing in testing a practice climbing session, meticulous climbing session, and breaking point climbing session. For this test, I gave my sims level 7 fitness and level 7 rock climbing. To my surprise, these rock climbing sessions led to no muscle gain and also no weight loss for my sims who were partaking in it. So this did nothing. But how about rock climbing using the rock climbing wall from the fitness stuff pack? Well, this had very different results. I tested both exercising with a gentle incline and a vertical incline, and then afterwards I had a sim unlock the climb overhang before resetting their weight and muscle and testing that too. All three of these training methods using the climbing wall from the fitness stuff pack gave the same results, and they provided sims with a huge amount of muscle growth, potentially the most out of every exercise in the game. And then additionally, the sims using the rock climbing machine lost a moderate amount of weight as well, making it one of the best exercises overall. And now it's time for the very final training method we'll be testing, being horse riding. I tried out a relaxed ride, an energetic ride, and also an intense ride. In short, all three types of horse riding were the same, and they didn't have any effect on a sim's muscle tone or on weight loss. And with that, we're at the end. And I'm really hoping there isn't some random exercise that I missed. If you missed the prequel video to this one, which also looked at how food impacts on weight in The Sims 4, then I'll pop a card up so you can check out that video if you want to. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. See you later.